What's up, everybody? It's your girl Sherelle Unique here. So I figured I would discuss this R. Kelly situation. Why not? Everybody else talking about it, right? So I've had a couple friends ask me my thoughts on R. Kelly, and I have a lot of thoughts on him. Initially, when I first started watching the docuseries and different interviews and doing research on R. Kelly, you know, I learned about his past. You know, you hear about a young boy who's struggling to read, who would get teased, bullied. And in addition to that, you're being molested by your own sister. You're being molested by your own sister. And raped. You are being molested by a neighbor. You're being bullied and victimized. All of these different things. And when you see the pictures of him as a young child, he just looks so broken, you know. So initially, I must say that I really felt for him. I really felt his pain, and how broken he was. And I still feel for that young boy. That young boy, Robert Kelly. However, I also feel like that young boy, Robert Kelly, has died. Or maybe he hasn't died. Maybe he's the one that's charismatic. He's the one that's giving. He's the one that's funny. He's the one that is likable. You know what I'm saying? He is the one that is writing I Believe I Can Fly. He's that guy. Right? But I believe that when you suffer from trauma, because some people are having this argument, well, that ain't no excuse. You know, just because he was molested, that don't mean that you turn into a molester. Well, the reality is these are seeds that are planted. Trauma, they're seeds that are planted and they can grow. However you decide to water them, the seeds, that's how they'll grow. Okay, so you could water your seed with purpose. Maybe you can turn your seed, because we've all had trauma of some sort. Some of us turn ours into purpose. You could water your seed with ego. You could water your seed with skills and talent. Okay, you can water your seed with anger. Robin Williams said something like, every villain is a hero within his own play. And I really believe that. Within them, deep down, they may not even be able to acknowledge this, verbalize this. Within them, they feel justified for what they're doing. And I really believe that if, depending on how you water your seed, that's how you will turn out. So no, it doesn't necessarily mean that just because you were molested, you're automatically a molester. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. However, if you water your seed with ego, if you water your seed with anger, if you water your seed with violence, if you water your seed with sex fetishes, sex addiction, these different things, then what do you grow? You water it with power, clout. What are you growing? I think he has grown into a monster. He's grown into a monster. And who we're seeing is R. Kelly, the monster. And R. Kelly, the monster, has ultimately buried Robert. So no, you don't use it as an excuse, but it definitely changes the shape of how he views life, how he views sex, how he views the world. You know what I'm saying? The fact that it's his family member and he's not close to his siblings, any of his siblings. He doesn't have a father. Something has to occur for you to dehumanize others. We don't wake up and you're just automatically dehumanizing people, right? Something has to slowly occur and slowly grow for you to come to a place where you're dehumanizing others. And I really seriously believe that that's the case with R. Kelly. I believe that this all started with Aaliyah. And a lot of people aren't going to agree with this. Fortunately, there's plenty of, and I can say this because I work with at-risk youth. I work with teenagers. There are plenty of teenagers who date older men intentionally. I'm not saying that Aaliyah is one. And there are plenty of older men who date and sleep with teenagers. I don't enjoy this. I don't like this. However, that is normal. I think where it becomes abnormal, because even in certain cultures, you get married. Some cultures, that's marrying age, 15, 16, 17 years old. It's marrying age. I don't like it. Like I said, I gotta say that 3 times. I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. But it's real. It happens, it's real. Especially back in the day. I think the issue comes in play when you're a grown person seeking out young people. When you're a grown person seeking them out. And it goes even farther than you seeking them out. You're using specific tactics to seek them, capture them, have mind control over them, abuse them, violate them, manipulate them, degrade them. When you're doing these things, you have crossed over. You have crossed over. It's horrible. Please understand me. I don't enjoy that. I don't think that it's cool, but I do think that it's much more normal than we want to admit. As far as a older man and a teenage girl goes, it's more normal than we want to admit. But like I said, I think where it really, really becomes scary is when you're out seeking this out. Honestly, some people are like, well, why are these ladies doing this now? They had years to do it. From my work in the trauma field, they're doing it now. One, because when you experience trauma like that, it goes with you the rest of your life. Okay? It goes with you the rest of your entire life. So you might be over it because it happened 10 years ago and you're just now listening to it and you're like, why is she saying something 10 years from now? You might be over it. She's not. And I think what these women are doing are trying to spread awareness. And when you spread awareness, more people will, one, feel more open to talking about it. Those who talk about it may feel more open to actually promote change, or maybe even penetrate those that can make change, right? And then 2, it can give other victims the emotional support that they need in order to come out. To say, hey, this is going on. This is happening to me. He told me not to tell. Whatever. So it's important that the Me Too movement is out. It's important that these ladies are spreading awareness to the situation. Because I think what was going on was, you hear about the Aaliyah situation. And I'm going to keep it all the way 100. I was young at that time. I'm like, ain't no way he married her. That's a lie, because it's normal for people to lie on celebrities. And so, I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. I think we all did that. Then some time went on and it's a tape. And I'm like, okay, now this dude, now for me, I believe the tape. I believe the tape. But I think things were like spread few and far between. And with time, he's coming out with hit records. He's being a part of our lives. And I'm not saying that this makes it right, but I think this is why people have kind of pushed it under the rug. He became a part of people's lives. He's at people's games, graduations. He's at people's weddings. You know what I'm saying? His songs are in people's bedrooms. Positive moments have occurred from his songs. So the last thing you want is to believe that he's capable of these heinous crimes, and then the court, because of the situation with the courts, you're like, okay, well, if the courts didn't do nothing about it, it must not be true. But we're wrong. We're wrong. For real, honestly, I think when he did that I Admit It song, I don't know if y'all have heard that I Admit It song. That song is 19 minutes, y'all, of him trying to convince others, and this was before the docuseries, him trying to convince others that he is innocent. It ain't that much begging and pleading for innocence in the world, okay? And for me, I think that was the moment when I was like, he's really far gone. This is mental health. This is an illness. This is sickness. He is far gone. He's sick. He is so sick. I believe those women. I believe that they are manipulated into staying. I believe that he's giving out STDs. I believe that he's dabbling in urination and feces. I believe all of it, y'all. I really do. I don't think that he should go to jail. And I'm going to tell you why. Some people are not going to agree with this. I kind of feel like with time, you'll adapt. I think with time, if he goes to jail, he's going to adapt. He's going to find a crew of maybe some sex offender friends. He's going to be hanging out. He's going to be singing songs for them, writing. I could see him in the yard right now singing songs with them, hanging out, kicking it, adapting to his surroundings, and it not really feeling like jail for real. I think he needs to be locked in a room where they just play sex offender rehabilitation videos over and over and over, non-stop. Locked in a room. And that's all he listens to. Non-stop. All day. Sex offender rehabilitation videos. He can't cut them off. He can't turn them down. That's just what he listens to. That's what he listens to. 23 hours out the day. That's what I think. But I really, for real, I hope that he gets help. I hope he releases some of these women, or these women find the strength within themselves to release themselves, because it seems as though they can leave, they can kind of come and go as they please. It seems as though they can do that, but their mind, if your mind is not changed, then you're in bondage. And so it seems like he has control over their mind, over their money, over their access to the world. And then they may not have the belief that they can, survive. You've been living off the grid for all of this time. You haven't had any work experience, any money saved up, So I just pray that they get the strength to be able to survive. That's my thoughts. I mean, it's interesting watching. I always loved Aaliyah, and I was young. It's interesting watching her interviews and her deflecting some of the questions, and you can see the brokenness in her heart. I watched one interview. She was like, You know, that was a tumultuous time in my life, but I'm just glad with the strength of my fans I got through. And I'm just thinking, like, girl, yes, it was tumultuous. You're young, you're being manipulated by this grown man. You get pregnant secretly. Nobody knows, nobody's supposed to know. You get married, you don't really even want to be married. They're forging documents. You got to lie on these documents. Then your parents find out. God knows what that conversation was like. Then the world finds out, but you got to keep lying and wearing sunglasses, hiding. Then you either have a miscarriage or abortion, because they didn't even mention what happened with the baby. And then the marriage is annulled. You can't tell a soul about it. And your parents won't speak up about it. I really wish that Aaliyah's family would speak up. I understand why they keep things private, but that would mean so much if especially at this time, if they would speak up. But you know, I'm really interested to see how things are gonna play out. Y'all heard my opinion, my thoughts on everything. It's sick. It's sick to see how many people are invested, how many people have been helping him turn into the monster that he's become. And it's sick to see him still walking around flaunting, being cocky about this. That really shows how far gone he is. So like I said, I'm very interested to see how this plays out with the docuseries now being out and things going forward. I'm really excited to see where things go, because the walls are caving in as they should. And it's time for his reign to end. Yeah. As far as listening to his music, it's too soon. I ain't gonna never say never. I ain't gonna say never, because you know, with time it kind of waters things down. I ain't gonna say never, but it's too soon. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. I can't. But I do understand, like, God gives us gifts. And I understand, like, for him, in some of his more tumultuous times that he had been through, his music was his sword. His music was his strength. It was his way of kind of defending himself. But then he turned it into his weapon. He turned it into his weapon and much more. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this all plays out. It's time for him to be accountable for the things that he has done and the monster that he has created. Yeah, so y'all, right below, let me know what y'all think. It's your girl Sherelle Unique. I'm praying, anybody watching this video, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for the girls. Y'all, this is crazy. Okay? All right. Message me below. It's your girl Sherelle Unique. Holla.